What up? How's it going? So in that last episode, we got to see Jimmy handle business on both ends, right? His scumbag shit, but also as a lawyer, they make it a point to show, nah, he has it in him. But his brother was right. You gave somebody who has that slip in Jimmy, you gave him the keys, right? So now this guy could do some major work. And we know what we saw in Breaking Bad, how he gets down. But to see that that whole what's it, squat cobbler? Ugh. That was hilarious. Also, shout out to the patron that showed me the video that they made for the show of that weird dude partaking in it. That is hilarious and sick and disturbing. And also hilarious. Hey, let's go ahead and start this episode.
Sorry about the hiccup, folks. It won't be long.
They're going to all the different states.
Can someone tell me if Mrs. Alma Mae Urbano is on board? Alma Mae Urbano. My name's Jimmy. I tried to visit you at Sandpiper, but they wouldn't allow me to. Now, Alma Mae, do you recall responding to a mailer from my law firm, Davis and Maine of Santa Fe, New Mexico?
Oh, maybe. Was it yellow?
It's canary yellow. I picked that color myself. Well, ma'am, I'm here to make sure you get your money back, okay? It's not like the Sandpiper people, put on a ski mask and mugged Alma Mae here at gunpoint. It's just a little thing. It's just fairly innocent, but we need to fix it. You follow me? So let's say you and Steve go out to dinner at, Birdie's. Here comes the check. Hey, wait a doggone $24 for a side of buttermilk biscuits? That doesn't sound right now, does it? No, it does not. It sounds like something got added up wrong. You send your nephew Steve to talk to the manager, and naturally, the manager corrects the mistake. Well, same kind of thing is what happened at Sandpiper Crossing. And nothing makes me sadder than to see people of the greatest generation, people like my own Nana and Bobo, getting overcharged by some great big company, even if it was an accident. Well, sometimes it's just easier if you get your nephew Steve to go take care of it for you.
There was moments early on in Breaking Bad where Walt and Heisenberg are bleeding, right? Heisenberg is sort of bleeding into Walt before there's this just stark switch over later on. Here with Jimmy, you see the slip in Jimmy portion. What it has is the ability to talk and convince people. And the fact that he's able to utilize that here, but he's doing it for the good, right? But then you have the lawyer part, right? Which he now is able to utilize on the sort of slipping Jimmy side of it. And we saw that last episode, that whole thing of talking and knowing how to utilize the law against law enforcement, right? So you see these moments where it's not like one side is bleeding to the other, like where Heisenberg would bleed into Walt. This is slipping Jimmy and just straight up James. They're one at certain moments.
You still with us?
I'm going to save you from having to brag. Over 200 new Sandpiper clients signed over the past 3 weeks. Well done, Jimmy.
Phoenix, Colorado Springs, Fort Worth, Provo. That's just for starters. My goal, another 200 by the end of the
Straight
month.
up, Big
With
12
this many folks, we have an excellent shot at a solid batch of plaintiffs for the classes in each district.
Sorry, before we move on, I'd like to go back to client outreach just for a moment. Looking over these numbers here, really astonishing results, Jimmy. Incredible. I'm confused. How many people out there actually responded to our direct mailer?
One.
Oh, right, yeah. Hey, Mrs. Alma Mae Urbano, you got 24 new clients from this one response? That is, wow.
While I say he is right, the way he feels what this could lead to, right here, it's kind of hate, ain't it? Like, come on, my man got the clients, let him live. So his whole thing is he's just there to watch over him. The only thing to get him out the house is the fact he got to watch over his brother. Like, damn, yo.
Wow.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, what, is there a problem?
Well, might not some parties, the opposing counsel, for example, see this differential and conclude that there may have been some solicitation involved?
I did not solicit.
I'm just wondering how you account for your success, because it will definitely raise eyebrows over at Schweikert and Coakley.
Chuck, I'm sure that... Jimmy, if you could clear this up, that would be helpful.
I went to Amarillo to confer with a client and to make sure that we had a solid, good faith basis for our case there overall.
So these other 23 residents, they approached you.
Cliff, they heard the scuttlebutt before I crossed state lines. And I certainly didn't have to go knocking on any doors. Ooh. And is it any surprise that they want to speak with a guy who is there to show them they may have money coming their way?
Makes sense. Howard?
Look at Chuck. Look at Chuck. He like, I know this bitch is up to something. Shout out to Chuck. Yo, I thought he was a hater, but I don't give a fuck. He's hilarious.
What I'm proposing is that we create a small team at D&M dedicated specifically to coordinating all elements of the individual.
I just want to say that I take Chuck's point. I do. I mean, this is like a wife of Caesar type thing. There can't even be a hint of solicitation. Right? No more meet and greets at Sandpiper facilities. I'll find another way to proceed.
Well, Jimmy, we'll leave that up to you. You know, client outreach is your department.
Where was I? Okay.
That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Jimmy, you know solicitation can get you disbarred. This matters.
Well, here's what I think matters. 24 senior citizens now have representation. Before I went, they didn't even know they were getting ripped off. Now they have us in their corner. How is that not a win?
I need you to understand something very critical here. I put myself on the line to get you this job.
So what, you threw me a bone?
No, asshole. You know I believe in you, but then I made my beliefs known to them. And now everything you do reflects back on me.
Right.
With Howard, because ultimately I talked him into going out on a limb for you too. Do you understand? It's my word, it's my judgment.
It's so crazy that I didn't even take into account that he had been soliciting. I had forgot. Like, he was literally holding court in the middle of the office, sitting there. Everybody had papers. He's like, now, if you look right here, yo, I don't know. Like, I know what solicitation is. It's just, when I was watching it, it was just cool to see him being successful in some shit.
That should get you through to next month.
Mike, thank you. Last 2 nights, I heard gunshots. First night, they were maybe a block or two over. Woke me up. There's no mistaking it. There was 3 of them. They were quick. Pop, 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 closer. It was like they were right outside the house.
I'm staying here tonight.
No, Mike, no. That's not necessary.
It is not a problem. I'll take the couch.
Mike, you asked, so I answered. Please don't make me sorry. I told you.
What's up?
Yeah, it's Sandpiper mailers. Yeah, we should be getting responses of like 12 to 15%, but we're getting 1s and 2s. In Colorado Springs, 0. TV commercial, highly targeted.
Oh.
Let me tell you, at Sandpiper, the trains run on time. Mussolini would be proud. 3:14 p.m., end of the first act cliffhanger, first commercial up, Davis and Maine.
It's not exactly my go-to, but generally speaking, I'm open to it. We will talk next week.
Great.
Getting the building blocks of a
Safe
Saul.
travels.
Of a Saul Goodman.
Call Davis and May at 505-242-7700. That's 505-242-7700.
Cliff signed off on this.
The partners were very happy.
Whatever happened to showmanship?
Like, for him to be like, that's not my kind of thing, it's like, you missing out.
Okay, it's a oneer, and it's shot in glorious black and white. We can do that, right?
Yeah. So that's it? Old lady in a chair? Chair commercial.
Does anybody like you?
No, look at him.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. McGill.
Jimmy, cut this shit out, please. I can't wait to see the end product. It's not gone. There's got to be something else to it. That's the car making the noise, but what's that car doing? Why keep getting closer? Newspapers.
Where's Kaylee?
No, she's at school. She's fine. She doesn't know about it.
Are you all right?
Let me show you. It's right up there. You do see it, right?
I see it. What time did you hear the shots?
2:13 this morning. I looked at the clock. It was 3 of them. It was exactly like last time.
And you didn't call the police, or did you?
No, what's the point?
You think maybe it's possible that you dreamed it? It happens sometimes.
Okay.
I dream it, Mike. Because I didn't sleep a wink last night. Jesus. I mean, I was here and you weren't.
I believe you.
Nah, he was here like a motherfucker.
All right. That's it. We're getting you and Kaylee out of this house. End of story.
Like, what's the story with these?
Yeah,
Who was it who first said, hey, I know?
Yeah.
Big bowl of balls.
Let's make some wicker
I
balls.
don't know. They came with the place.
No shit. They're in every corporate apartment in the world.
My husband and I scrimped and saved for so many years. We did our best to build a nest egg so that we wouldn't be a burden to our family. After Ronald passed, I moved to an assisted living facility, a nice place. They told me they'd take care of everything, but then one day they said all my money was gone. How could that be? Where did it all go?
This is fire.
That's not a real tear, is it?
If you or a loved one
It's
is a resident of Davis in Maine,
This
at
is fire.
505-242-7700.
She looked at the camera like,
that's
single tear.
505-242-7700.
Oh, another number. Hold on.
Well,
Hold on. Wait a minute.
100.
I've never done
That's
this before, but my
five-
phone's right near me. Let's give it a fucking call. Not in service, but it's Albuquerque, New Mexico. Of course.
If I were an 86-year-old Sandpiper resident, I'd be dialing.
Hell yeah. I'll be
Yes.
dialing the shit out that
Uptown.
motherfucker. Like, dial.
and all made in accordance with the rules and regulations of the American Bar Association.
Just a little scared. Come on. Slap him with the VHS. Slap him with the VHS. Okay, no.
Yeah, I'd like the number for KKTV Channel 11.
Bodyguard job, $200.
What else?
For you, that's the best fit I've got. We discussed this. You want next level pay? You gotta do next level work. I respect where you're coming from on this thing. I do. But that's just how it goes.
Colorado Springs, come on.
Damn.
Good afternoon, Davis and Maine, attorneys of law. How may we help you? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, that is unfortunate. Now, to get your...
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get back to you.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be happy to send an information packet right out to you.
This is
May I
dope.
ask, are you... It's serious money. And the guy, he specifically asked for you.
Oh.
And who's the guy?
It's the boss.
At this hour?
Something bad.
Never
happened.
too late for congratulations.
No, is it because he gave the tape without telling him or something? I don't know. 'Cause he didn't
Cliff,
tell him.
Jesus, you're still at the office.
You ran a commercial?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, and oh my God,
Yeah,
let me tell you,
you didn't tell
the
him.
response has
You
been...
ran a commercial without ever showing it to me, without first consulting me and my partners. Did you actually think that was gonna fly?
It was kind of an experiment, all right, kind of under the radar. And in all fairness, you did tell me client outreach was my department.
Don't be disingenuous. This commercial, I take it my firm's name is mentioned?
Yes. Yeah, Jesus.
Howard said you were a little eccentric. He didn't tell me you were a goddamn arsonist.
We got 103 phone calls today off a measly $700 ad buy. Now, that kind of return on investment, you can't
Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, my office, with the partners, and we want to see this thing.
Cliff, when you see this...
I knew you.
Yeah. So there is that, right? Yeah, I was just talking about, man, it's crazy. Like, why he don't want to do that? But there is still, he said not to do that, and he went behind his back and did it. Now, it's dope that it's an experiment. He should have approached him, about running an experiment, right? You know what I mean?
Golden boy.
Oh.
That's me.
Golden boy. Yup, see them boots.
Feeling cautious? You gonna tell me what we're doing here?
I've got a problem.
Okay.
This problem, I can't solve it myself.
This problem, is it a who or a what?
There's a guy. I need him to go away.
Is he talking about him? First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And I have a Patreon with full length and early reactions to things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. I take back what I said about the law firm leaving money on the table. And the reason I do is because as I thought about it, I'm like, oh no, they don't want to open themselves up to anything because that becomes an embarrassment for a law firm, right? And it could cost them business. It could also bring them under. It's safer to just play it how they're playing it, right? And if they do a commercial, it has to be vetted by everyone. It really should be, because if it's something they don't see and it has their name on it, it's usually, that's why he asked them, did you mention our name? Is it right? So that becomes a big issue. And so when he says arsonist, it sounds like maybe he's over. No. You can take this whole thing down if this is done incorrectly or it brings about any sort of harm. Okay. Let's see. I will say though, you can see his commercial chops already. With that old lady look to the side and she just single tear, and she said, "Was that a real tear?" He said, "Vicine." It's hilarious, right? It looked good. Him and the filmmakers. It's dope that they early on even put them as characters into this because the commercials are such a big part of the Saul Goodman brand, and it's something that, thinking about it, had they not brought them up, I would have never thought about who are the people behind the commercials. So for them to bring it up, it's like, this is dope. And I wonder if they're also who he's going to utilize going forward with his Saul Goodman commercials. Let's see. Let me think. Okay, so Kim, she's sketchy on him. We see him sitting at the table and he tries to, and she moves her feet away. Now she's sketchy because they already had this conversation. So she knows how he gets down. So he could try to like beat around the bush and all that with the partners. But she gets what's happening. And so she's like, listen, solicitation is a big issue. You could be disbarred. All right. It really hit him. He's like, absolutely. I'm going to try something different. So when he comes about with the video thing, for us who watch as viewers, it's dope that they did this because we're sitting here. Hey, the commercials was such a big part of what he was, and you know what I mean. It was they'd be playing in the background or they'd come on prominently, and Mike and his daughter-in-law. So his daughter-in-law, she's hearing stuff, but she's on edge. What happened to her husband and what went down, she's on edge. She's hearing those newspapers being thrown, and in her mind, she's saying, yeah, those is gunshots. And they keep getting closer and closer. And it's like, ooh, okay. So he stays there and waits without her knowledge of it, and that's fine for me. It's fine that he did that. In fact, it shows the type of guy that Mike is. If anything is going to happen, let me put it this way. I would know that no matter what I told him, he would still be there, right? So she said at 2:13 she heard. He goes, did you call the police? Nah. Because she already said when she contacted them, they took forever. Okay. But then she sees this thing on the side of her house. And he's looking at it and he's like, the fuck? I was here. Right? What the fuck is this? Right? And so what I'm wondering is, for one, what is that? Or is that just something that, you know, it's some superficial shit that took place and happened to the house at a certain point. But even still, it's what is that? You know. But I think it may just be that it was something that was there and now she's putting it together. But it makes sense. What she was going through, what happened with her husband, it's playing with her. Mike is trying to find work. He just wants to help them out. He really does. But he needs work while he's down there. Okay? This is where Ignacio comes in. Nacho, I want to see. He said he needs to get rid of somebody. I know he's working with Tuco. Is it Tuco he's trying to get out of the paint? Or is it somebody that we have yet to meet? Right? That's going to be interesting to see where that goes. And I do like the little thing where he says, I got to get rid of somebody. And Mike just goes, right? Because he didn't want to do high level work. And then he didn't even get tricked into this one. What happened was the guy straight up told him, the middleman, the veterinarian, he says, look, they didn't tell me much about the job, but he said, I know you might not even like it because you're so picky. And he is. So when the guy says what the job is, when Ignacio says that, you see Mike, and I wonder where it goes from there. Jimmy, it's dope to see him just trying to do stuff. But the thing is, oftentimes the stakes are such that you can't play around like that. Not showing them the tape, for me, the viewer, it's cool. Like, yeah, he did it. And I'm talking shit, but for the character, everything that's happened on here makes sense. The way his brother feels actually makes sense. Like, for some people, it may not, and they may have this thing because they like him as a character. But there's certain things you cannot do and you can't be caught doing. And I say can't be caught, but it's deeper than that. It's like that you just can't do as a lawyer. And it brings the whole profession down, but also it could bring the entire law firm down. And he just has to be real careful. And I wonder how this meeting is going to go at 8 a.m, right? Because if they see the video and they find nothing happened, but they see that they got 100, that man overheard. He said, yo, we got 100 calls. That didn't matter to him. But that could be one of those things where he's just so pissed off. Like, you can't do something like that. You can't put us at risk like that. And then he sees it and he calms down, and maybe it could be that, or it could be, I don't even know. Like, does he get fired? And does his brother like, yeah, see, I told you, sort of deal. But I don't think it's going to go that way. To see him on that bus, man, as I said, he got a mouthpiece. He knows how to talk, and the way he's dealing with these old people, it's almost as if it's some good training for dealing with just everyday people, because he gets to make these mistakes, or he gets to try out different things with them because their thinking isn't really that quick. And a lot of it is them getting got by the stuff he's saying. And I'm not saying he's doing it to be mean-spirited or nothing like that. He's actually trying to put in work, but it's a thing where you're seeing the building bricks of what Saul becomes, his mouthpiece, the way he is with the law. We saw last episode coming up with stories on the fly, and the media part of it, the advertisements, right? So that's cool that we're seeing this build up. And then we also saw him with Marco. That plays a big role. These are the building blocks of what becomes Saul, and I like that. Man, I know he was embarrassed by the thing with Kim. I know what his thinking was. If I show them this tape, they're gonna be like, nah. And the reason he knew they would say no if he showed them the tape is because what happened before. Once again, I said they're trying to limit liabilities and stuff like that. So for them, it's just real simple. Just put some shit in the background, put some words, very manicured, and you know, it's something real simple, and then you just put the company's name on it. But that's not what this was. And for them, they don't want to be made fools of, and they don't want to have any issues. He had to let them see that, but hey, he didn't. So we got us a show. Hey, next episode.